Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here today at PWR in East Tilbury. It's a performance enhancement centre and I'm joined by Mr. Archie Sharp. How are you, Arch?
Yeah, lovely, thanks. How are you?
Not bad. How was lockdown? I know that I didn't speak to you actually. I got some videos of you right at the start doing your lockdown workouts and pissing around on TikTok, but it's serious business now. But how was the actual lockdown for yourself?
Yeah, do you know what? Lockdown has gone pretty quick for me now. It was a good time just to chill out with the kids, family, with the missus, and yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
It seems like most boxing people I speak to say the same thing. Lockdown was good, and then it's a weekend and you're like, it's all right. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it gradually just grinds on you and you're like, I need to get back to boxing. Yeah,
of course, for sure, it does. But at the end of the day, like I say, we're coming out of it now, back in camp. And look, it's Saturday. I've been in the gym now for the last few hours, so I'm not at home, do you know what I mean? So I've been at home, and now I'm back in the camp, so just had to enjoy it whilst it was there.
And obviously where we are now, like I said, PWR, there ain't many better places, and you only walk into them old school gyms and rugged bags and all that, but an actual place like this where you can work on strength and conditioning, they got all the equipment, obviously that's only going to benefit the guys in it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a state-of-the-art gym. For me, this is exactly what I needed, really. I've just done some training now I've got a bit of recovery time, some recovery treatments. It's perfect.
Let's talk about the card you're on, because it is a belting card, obviously. Yourself and Jeff Afori on there, Conlon, Frampton, and they're sort of building Conlon, Frampton, and yourself and Frampton and someone, but yeah, Dennis McCann on there as well, but you're sort of the pinnacle of the BT return, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. It's about time though, really. Do you know what I mean? I'm number 3 in the WBO world ranking. So it's only about time that these cards and start happening, especially alongside with Frampton, because there's a possible fight in the future.
I want to ask you about Frampton's opponent, because you've done like a virtual press conference with Jeff Afori. You spoke about you and Jeff. I mean, you're a big favourite in that fight, but big opportunity for Jeff. But away from that, what do you make of the opponent that Frampton's been given?
I don't even know who he's even been given, to be honest with you. But listen, he's a fighter. He's got a fighter they put in front of him. But I can see me and Jeff Afori's fight stealing the show for sure, because it's two tough opponents in there, and it's going to be a tough and exciting fight for everyone.
Yeah, because it always presents a dangerous opportunity when you think that Jeff literally, this is probably his last big chance in his career, would you say? Yeah,
for sure. But see, with Jeff, he's a very fit kid, and he'd give it his 100%. And this is a perfect fight for me to show my skills. And there'll be another, like I say, another show that I steal, because I'm going to be fight of the night for sure.
There's no disrespect to Jeff, but I imagine you, let's say lockdown didn't happen, I imagine you would have been looking for opponents that are better than Jeff, long story short.
Yeah, ideally we had someone from Argentina who had 23 fights, only 3 losses, and then we was looking at setting up with Frampton fight. Well, ideally that's what I had. I was going to fight this Argentinian and then fight the winner of Jamel Herring and Frampton, but everything's out the window now, so just got to rebuild and go again.
Are you still sort of in the know in any of the talks that are going on? Because Jamal's quite vocal in saying, I'm still willing to come over just because this has happened. Don't think that I'm not willing to not come over to the UK to fight Carl, and then potentially you fight the winner as well. Is that something that's still in plans for BT?
Yeah, for sure, but I don't really know what's happening, because I don't know if Jamel's still got coronavirus or what. I don't know what his plans are. Before he won the WBO world title, he said he was going to give me the opportunity, and that's been what now, 2 years or a year and a half. So, and he still ain't stuck by his word, and it's a shame really, because I like Jamel and he's come across as a nice old fella, but he did say to me, he'd give me the shot, and it still ain't happening. So we'll just have to see when we.
Yeah, I mean the coronavirus thing was confusing as well, because he seemed to have it and then have a test and not have it, and he missed the fight, and God knows what's going on there. But the WBO rankings continue to confuse with Shakur as well, because now Shakur's obviously in your division. Shakur is now sort of WBO number 1, so that's again sort of taking your place. So frustrating there.
Yeah, so now number 4, I suppose. Yeah, great. Listen, it's just the boxing that I've been in this game since the age of 7. I've never had it my own way. I just keep coming back, keep beating everyone, and that's exactly what I'm going to keep doing.
Would you fight Shakur if that was a possibility that came in next year, 2 years?
1,000,000% I'll fight Shakur. He's a great fighter, but listen, I'm a great fighter, and like I say, when I'm in great fights, then you'll see the best of me. You see, there's a lot of fighters out there who can perform with less opponent. You see me, I can't. I need to have someone to get out of bed for. I need to be fighting top level elite fighters, and Shakur is one of them fighters, so 100% I'd fight him.
Yeah, obviously great fight and great fighters are made by great fighters. Sorry. What do you make of the actual boxing return? Because it seemed to be quite slow at first. Like the original top ranked shows weren't the best when it comes to matchmaking. We've only had one BT show. Eddie's coming back in a couple of weeks. What do you make of the return? Because it seems like we were promised quite a lot, and it seemed to have got fairly slow, after a slow start.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? I don't know if it's down to the promoters or not. I think it's just the whole world. Like nobody knows what's going on. Do you know what I mean? 1 minute people are going back into lockdown, one minute they're not. So I don't know if it's just so much. I can't really blame the promoters. I think it's just more the government and the world that we're living in at the minute. It's hard. They want the shows. Don't get me wrong. Frank wants to put as many shows on as possible. I know that for sure. But obviously there are restrictions, and he can only want to put them on. It's just up to the government if they allow him to put the shows on. But I think this next show, they've got one. Is it this weekend? There's some good fights on there. I think their first BT show was a good kickstart to it all. And like I say, my one on the 15th of August, I think that's a pucker show.
Yeah, that is a belting card, and it's a shame we can't have fans there, because I can imagine that being, when they done the feeler in Belfast, that would have been a belter. Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo, John Ryder, Callum Smith situation. Disappointed to hear that Billy Joe isn't ready.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it's hard, isn't it? Because it's going to be. You see that Canelo is in shape all year round, isn't he? But we'll just have to see what happens. Billy Joe's a talented fighter, and it's just. I think it's down to him what he wants to do, isn't it? With Billy Joe, like I say, he's an unbelievable fighter, great talent, natural talent. Hopefully, we do see the fight. I'd like to see the fight.
Obviously, that's life-changing money for a fighter. Obviously, Bill ain't earned bad in his career, let's be honest, as someone who's fluctuated with world titles for a couple of years. But does it show the importance of staying ready? Because if he is to miss out on that Canelo fight, because we know Canelo sort of picks and chooses, it show the importance of staying ready all year round?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at Mayweather, there wasn't really many. He was never out of shape, always ready to go. Vasyl Lomachenko, all the world elite fighters are all ready to go at any time. Do you know what I mean? They're always ticking over. They're not blowing up too big. So I do think it's important to stay. Listen, you ain't got to be on top of it all year round, fight fit. Do you know what I mean? You ain't got to be peaking, but you've got to be in reasonable shape, so you know you're giving yourself. If they do get a call within a few weeks, you can get yourself ready to fight. Like myself, I do, when I fight, I do boil down a little bit, but I still keep myself in a reasonable condition, ready to come back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Mayweather's even in shape now, so he's still in shape now. So.
And that's why he's the best, and that's why he's done so well in his career and earned so much money, because he's always he's took it so serious, and he's in great shape.
If it isn't going to be Billy Joe, which we're now probably 95% sure it won't be, who would you prefer to see out of the Brits? So we've got Callum Smith, John Ryder in the mix. Which one of those two would you prefer?
Do you know what? John Ryder, I think he was unlucky against Callum Smith. I really do. It was Callum, wasn't it, who he boxed? Yeah, I thought he was unlucky against that fight. But you see, I like John, and I know John, and I think he's a very tough fighter, and I think he should have a little opportunity in going in there, I think.
All right, and just finally, Arch, for the punters at home, where do they stick their money on you and Jeff?
Oh, 100% it's going to be me all day long, but...
Do you knock him out?
Do I knock Jeff out? I think... Listen, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, I say, yeah? There's all sorts of ways, and I'm telling you now, you see me, I box very clever, and fighters like Jeff, who come forward like a mummy, if you like, I just box, I just keep moving, I'll be very, very slick, I'm very fit, and I'm a lot stronger than 2 years ago when we sparred, so all I'm saying is it'll be very interesting. And
you're fitter and stronger because of this place and these boys?
Yeah, for sure, I'm in the best shape now. Like I say, I've just done a nice good session now, and the recovery is here what I need, so I'm always staying fit, always staying strong, always ready, and you'll see that on the 15th of August. And also, I've just come back from Tenerife with great sparring out there with the Walsh brothers as well. So I'm running up mountains, so I'm in great shape.
Don't look like you caught the sun, but good sparring out there.
Bosh.